I'm Maria Lizzignoli. Thanks for joining us at the live desk. Right now, the Minnesota Department of Public Safety is holding a news conference about a nearly 40-year-old missing person case. According to the Minnesota BCA, in November of 1987, then 23-year-old Carla Anderson went missing after she was last seen in her apartment in Wadena, Minnesota. Foul play is suspected in her disappearance as all her belongings remained in the home. The BCA says she is a vulnerable adult and has not been seen or heard from since. There is a $25,000 reward for information leading to the whereabouts of Carla Anderson and the person responsible for her disappearance. We take you live to a press conference with more on the case.
The purse was still inside. There were no signs of a break-in and no signs of a struggle. The only things missing from her apartment were her keys and her Hardee's jacket. We found one of the rented movies still inside her VCR. Carla was a vulnerable adult, and we are confident she would not have chosen to disappear. At the time of her disappearance, she was only 4 feet 10 inches tall, 80 pounds, strawberry blonde hair and blue eyes. At the time, over the past almost nearly 40 years, our investigators, those with the Wadena County Sheriff's Office and the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension have spent thousands of combined hours in the effort to find Carla. Our investigators have conducted hundreds of interviews with potential witnesses and suspects. We have pursued, re-examined, and exhausted hundreds of tips and leads. But someone knows what happened. Someone knows. That is why today we are hopeful that a reward of up to $25,000 from Spotlight on Crime will help generate some new information. Anyone with that information that will help investigators locate Carla is urged to contact our police department here in Wadena or the BCA. If you have information that can lead us to Carla, you could receive that money. And I want to repeat that. If you have information leading us to Carla, you could receive that money. So we would like to have answers for her family. They've been waiting nearly 40 years. Next, I'd like to have Dan Anderson, Carla's brother. He'd like to share a few words about her today.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Especially want to send out a special thanks to the Wadena Police Department, BCA, all the other agencies that have not let Carla just evaporate into thin air. It's easy to, say, okay, it's been 40 years, so there's no sense in looking at this anymore. But we've been in contact fairly regularly, and we know that they're putting in a lot of work to this. My sister Carla, she's like any other young woman. She fiercely independent, loved her family, loved all the family gatherings. We had lots of big gatherings on our family. She had a niece that was only a few years old at the time she disappeared. I think a lot about, now obviously there's more nieces and nephews that she's missed out on. We've missed out on that. So her whole future's gone. Just fiercely independent, loved living on her own, making her own money, doing her own thing. Again, loyal to her friends and a good person, happy, just a really good person. And we miss her a lot.
Well, good afternoon. I am Drew Evans, and I am the superintendent of the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. I want to start by saying that how sorry I am to Carla's family, her father, brothers, and loved ones that are here today, all of our family and the Wadena community, that we don't have more answers for you at this point in time. But that's what today is about, is to keep working on this case together as a community and collectively so that we can bring her home. The nonprofit organization Spotlight on Crime is offering up to a $25,000 reward for information leading to the whereabouts of Carla Anderson. We fully believe that somebody knows information that will help solve this case. We hope this reward will encourage somebody to come forward with that information. We understand in some cases that witnesses are reluctant to come forward, and we also understand that in nearly 40 years, it may be more difficult to get justice for her family. And so this reward is for information that will help investigators find Carla. Spotlight on Crime is offering this $25,000 reward to encourage witnesses or somebody with information to come forward and share what they know. Spotlight on Crime is a partnership between law enforcement, community, and Minnesota businesses. The rewards are funded by donations, which are made available to help solve crimes. We are grateful to the Spotlight on Crime for wanting to support the effort to bring Carla home. Since it was created in 2001, Spotlight on Crime has offered more than $1.4 million in rewards for 30 cases. The organization has paid out more than $200,000 in rewards to people who have provided information to help solve those crimes. Anyone with information that will help us find Carla is urged to contact the Wadena Police Department at 218-631-7700 or the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension at 877-996-6222 or 651-793-7000, or you can email us at bca.tips@state.mn.us. I'm just going to be closed by saying that this reward, and as her family and the chief has noted here today, it's been 40 years. It's our responsibility as a society, as a community, for all of us in Minnesota to take care of those vulnerable in our communities. And today it's our responsibility for somebody to come forward, either through this reward or with information, to provide that key piece of evidence so that we can find Carla and bring her home. Thank you, and with that, the chief will open some questions.
Okay, with that, we'll open it for some questions.
Corn Huggard from Fox 9 in the Twin Cities. Can you kind of go through some of the leads that have come and gone, I guess, through the last 39 years? I'm talking about the car, I believe, that was stolen not far away, and Floyd Tapson and things like that.
Sure. So the question was any leads that we've exhausted over the last 30 years. While it is still a very open investigation, we don't want to reveal all of the evidence that we do have. So we are still actively looking into all those things, and anything that gets reported to us, we look into it. So we don't have any evidence to prove or disprove with the car at all. So we're still looking into all that stuff too. Could be.
There was a fire, I believe, that would be visible from where she was.
Yes.
Is that still something we're looking at? Potentially she went towards that?
Sure, and we don't have any evidence to prove or disprove to show us a direction on that as well either. So, great questions though, thanks. Yes?
Kirsty Madej, WDAY News in Fargo. I know that the family and boyfriend were polygraphed and questioned. Was there any follow-up interview with the boyfriend again to maybe further work that lead?
Sure. So the question was any follow-up interviews with the boyfriend at the time. So as I said, I apologize. It is still a very active investigation, so we don't want to reveal all of the information that we do have. But we are interviewing continuously to this day many suspects, many leads, many community members. So thank you.
There was, relative silence on this for years. I know you've spoken out about it last year and again this year, and I wonder if there is a reason for that, if you feel like there is some urgency here or something that you guys are close to a finish line that you can push through.
Sure. Are we close to a finish line? Why the urgency? Why now? We're exhausting the leads that we have, and we need the community's help. And hopefully this reward money will spark conversation, talk about her, say her name, have those conversations, and feel comfortable enough coming forward and telling us information, because it's time to have closure to this. And when we've exhausted leads, we need to have the community's help. Very good. Yes?
Nicole Strasik with the Wadena Pioneer Journal. How confident are you in solving this case after almost 39 years?
Okay, great question. How confident are we in solving this after that many years? We've got evidence all over the place, and we're looking at it pretty hard. I'm confident it will be solved. When? I'm not sure, but hopefully this helps that along and speeds it up.
And what do you think it means to the Wadena community as well as Carla's family to finally have this case solved and to bring Carla home after 39 years?
Oh my gosh. I think our community would rally together no matter what. This is something that our whole community has been suffering with, along with the family, and we know that. So to bring her home and have that closure would be amazing.
You're asking the public and the community to continue to talk about Carla, but what kind of information are you looking for? What do you want to tell the community, the public, when it comes to information that you're interested in knowing?
Sure, it's a great question. What do we want the community to know? It's why we talked about a few of the things that happened that night that we do know. Where she was living at Greenwood Apartments. What was going on in your life that night? What do you remember? Who were you hanging out with? Who are you talking to? We want to know anything, even if you think it might not be evidentiary, it still might help anything. If you know anything about Carla or a friend of hers or anything, we want to know all of it.
Can you ask Dan back to the podium just to give us a little more flavor of your sister's life? I mean, how many siblings do you guys have?
Sure.
Just kind of a little bit more in depth about. We have pictures. We don't know. I'd like to know.
I'm the oldest brother. I'm 4 years older than Carla. And then it was Carla, then my brother Scott, and it was Carla, Scott, Doug. They're all 1, 2, 3 right in a row. So Doug is here today. Scott passed away back in 2007. But yeah, Carla was loved being with the family. Absolutely loved being around the family. And lots of vacations, lots of time at the grandparents' lake, all kinds of family functions. And yeah, and she loved being on her own, very proud that she was in her own apartment, working on her own, getting back and forth to work, and just living. And we were in a big. My mom and her husband were in a big transition. They were building a new house out by Ottertail, so they were working on that while Carla was still here. And there were some changes coming, but everybody was excited for it, and it just didn't happen. But we miss her. We miss her a lot. Not hardly a day goes by we don't think about her.
Live with that kind of vacuum for 39 years.
Well, for me, my mom, she was pretty convinced shortly after she disappeared that she was no longer with us. And for myself, it's like you think back and you go, well, did somebody take her? Do they have her somewhere else? Is she alive? Is she doing well? Is she just not able to get in touch with? Well, first of all, she wouldn't have anybody's phone number anymore anyway. Is that a possibility? Well, as time goes by, that gets more and more dim in my mind anyway. But again, it's hard to kind of wrap your head around the fact that, is she really gone? Is she not gone? I think the overall feeling is, yeah, probably more than likely. But either way, we want her back. Closure, it's been, it's coming up on 40 years. It's a long time. And you start, you don't want to forget things, but you get to this age, and obviously you forget stuff from that long ago. But, we still think about her a lot. So, yeah. And it's sad that, people like my mom and her stepdad, Vern, and, they're not going to get to see the closure on this while they were still alive. My brother, Scott, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that makes it even harder. But for those of us that are still here, we're ready for closure. And again, we know that the Wadena Police and the BCA and the Wadena County Sheriffs have put in countless hours on this thing and continue to do so. So we're more than happy to, talk about Carla anytime. So, yeah, go ahead.
Matthew Freeman, WDAY News, Fargo.
Yeah.
Wanted to ask, what's the significance of holding this press conference here today of all days? We could have it on November 13th when the anniversary of her missing. Was there any significance to why it's being held today?
Far as I know, no significance.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just, Jill said it was time. Yeah.
And with this press conference happening now and the reward at $25,000, what do you hope happens next?
Well, we all should know that it doesn't take much of a bit of information to lead to something else, and I think that's really what everybody's looking for. I wouldn't expect that it's going to be somebody coming forward with something big, although that would be fantastic. I think it's going to be more probably a bit of information that possibly leads down another road, leads to somebody else. Obviously somebody's got to know something. That's the way these cases always work, I would assume. And it's just finding that right person to get that. Maybe the $25,000 will persuade somebody to, hey, I do remember something from that far back. Maybe it's not pertinent, but maybe it is, and I'm going to make a phone call and see, just let them know and see if it goes anywhere, that it's possibly a lead. So that's what we're hoping for.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Strassley with the Wadena Journal. I'm just wondering if you had the opportunity right now, and if the person or the persons who are responsible for Carla's disappearance, if you could say something to them, what would you say?
Step forward, get it off your chest, get it off your back, I guess. I can't imagine the burden, although a person in that state of mind, maybe it's not, but I would like to think so. Yeah.
Chief, can you talk to us a little about how much, investigative techniques have changed significantly over the last 39 years, and I wonder if new techniques of any kind, DNA, anything, have maybe started to play a role here?
Sure. Yep, technology has definitely changed since back then. We are using what we do have available to us now through all the systems, all the technology. Yes, we are exhausting all of those efforts as well, too. Definitely.